meeting, April 9th. Got those in your board packet?
Mr. President, I move to approve the minutes as sent.
Move to approve by Bruce, is there, are there?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Pat. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried without dissent. We'll wait just a couple minutes here. Good morning.
Mr. Chair, Corey is on his way also.
Corey's on his way, okay, good. You folks here out there all right? You here all right out there? Okay, I think we'll just go ahead and continue before Corey gets here. First on the agenda this morning is to consider a request to exceed the R1 zone lot accessory structure square footage of 1,200 square foot to 2,000 square feet. And this is a $800 square foot addition over the allotted square foot. Who's here to speak for that? You come up to the podium and give us your name and all the particulars on what you want to do there.
Well, my name is Kevin Prey. I live up on 917 28th Street West. I want to build a garage, and I have a lot of things I want to put in it. The reason I want to go bigger is because I have a horse trailer that's 40 foot long, so I need to go a little deeper. And then I have 2 pickups, a couple of side bys and stuff, and garden and lawn equipment I want to store in there as well. So that's why I'd like to go with the 40 by 50.
It's going to be something like the one across the street?
It'd be similar. I would have 12 foot walls instead of 14, but it'd be very similar to the one across the street, yes.
Questions for Mr. Frey?
Any objections from the neighbors?
I have not received any calls.
Okay, we'll get to you then. Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and come on up and...
I have a neighbor across the street that owns the 36 by 40 by 14 foot building, and I do not have a problem with the size that he wants to build. The only thing that I would ask is that when it's done, is that it matches in color, because we got a building and a house to the west of us that's got a yellow house with a blue garage, and there's one to the east of us that's a green house with a brown garage that's got about maybe a 6 foot separation between the house and the building. And then we have all them townhouses that are to the east of us that they're every color imaginable. And that's what I just don't want to see. Size to me makes no difference, because mine's already bigger than what the city is saying. But mine was built before I think all this stuff came up.
Do you want to give us your name? For
Randy LaRosse, and I live at 916 28th Street.
Okay, thank you.
And just at the same time that I would be building the structure, I'm doing the vinyl siding, but I'd order enough vinyl siding to do my home as well. So it would be matching color, because I know if I wait a year, sometimes the colors are different, and I don't want that as well. I want the same color, so I would be getting enough vinyl to do garage and house at the same time.
Is there anyone else to speak for or against? Okay. Other questions? Morning, Corey. Morning.
Just a question. I noticed that there's quite a slope where that garage is going to
Yes.
go. Is that, are you taking the grade down for the building, or is
We're gonna dig out, yes, but we would have to add some fill as well, because the back does need to be a little higher than the front for drainage and stuff. But I would have JL Concrete doing the work for me for concrete, and he has come and looked at it, and he said yes, because what I want to do is the front of the garage is going to meet the front of the house that's currently there, so they'd be the same distance away from the sidewalk and stuff. And then I want to lower the garage so that the roof peaks match about the same height. So there would be, quite a bit dug out, but there'd still have to be a little fill towards the back.
Okay, so by doing that, by matching the peaks, how far higher than the curb will the floor be then? Can you calculate
According to
that?
JL, probably 6 to 8 inches. So there would be some slope on the driveway.
Okay, what's the minimum, is that a foot?
Well, for a residential structure, it's 2 feet.
Oh, 2 feet, okay,
That's for a residential
okay. So
habitable
that's-
structure.
So
not
a foot is a good enough, is good enough for a garage then? Okay. All right. Is this a project the city supports?
Well, we support the code, so
Okay.
that's where here, so I would have to say no.
Okay.
How about other structures on the lot? Is there another?
I
structure?
have 2 sheds and both them would be gone.
Both of them?
Yes, I could get rid of both of them with that size of garage.
Again, depending on what the board decides here, if you choose to allow this structure to go in, we'd ask that, per verbiage in the past, that no other structure could be added to the property, permitted or unpermitted.
Other questions?
The current outbuildings aren't drawn on this, or where are they located?
They're towards the back of the property.
On the
They're,
southeast or west then?
well, it'd be towards the south.
Okay.
The one where the garage is kind of centered. The smaller one is kind of toward the southwest.
Okay, all right. So that garage on the southwest that points to the east, the doors to the east, that's your building then?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was on the next property.
Yeah, that's like a 10 by 12
Okay,
storage, and then the other one, I think, is a 12 by 16 storage.
okay.
How much time would you need to remove those structures after this?
Well, I probably wouldn't remove them until the garage is built, so I can put the stuff in, but my son would take both of them.
Okay,
And we could, as soon as they're emptied, we could move them out of there right away.
so based on the final inspection, you would say a couple weeks would be adequate?
Yeah.
So we could make that a condition of the building permit, so no need to mention it here.
Okay. Our main item here is the structure over exceeding the square footage.
Correct.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? If not, is there a motion to approve or deny the request?
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve the request with the language added that there will be no additional outbuildings permitted or unpermitted in the future.
Okay, motion by Bruce, is there a second?
I second that.
Second by Pat. Further discussion? Hearing none. Bruce,
Aye.
Pat,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
and I'll vote aye. Do a good job.
Thank you, I will.
Work with the city.
I will do that, thank you.
Okay. Next on our list, number 2, to consider request to reduce the front yard setbacks from 20 feet to 0 feet on lot zone general commercial located at 1306 West Ballard, and that's the College Edition. Who's here to speak to that? Come up to the mic and your name and all the particulars.
Good morning. My name is Steve Horner. I'm with the Spur Bar. Basically, what we're trying to do is we would like to build a pergola structure on our patio that we completed last summer. It would basically be, if you're looking at what was provided to you, the pergola would basically center our building, be roughly 18 to 20 feet wide, and extend from the end of our concrete to the building itself. There was some discussion on where the property line was. Our property line is about 5 feet 9 inches to the south of the concrete as it was poured for the patio. And we would like to put, instead of attaching the pergola to the concrete by the existing railing, we would like to come out 6 inches and go down below frost line there and extend the pergola to attach to the building.
Would you do anything with that space between the rail and the sidewalk, or is that gonna be all sidewalk in there?
Yeah, between the existing patio and the sidewalk, we are going to be putting, we discussed that quite a bit actually as owners. I think the best option would be to put the big boulder rocks in there, and then we are going to have the required, I think it's 3 trees in there, with some shrubbery in there also.
Kind of a buffer zone between the sidewalk and the street and your deck or your patio.
Correct. Yep. The reason, initially we were going to just put the smaller rock. We decided to go with boulder rock because we think it's going to be easier to clean up with cigarettes, stuff like that in there. I think we're going to have a very tough time keeping that clean, especially in the winter with the snow. So we'd like to be able to put the bigger boulders in there. And also create maybe a little tougher access between the sidewalk and the patio itself.
You're going out no further than building to the west, it appears on the drawing.
That's
right?
exactly right. We are going to, I think if anything, we're gonna, the current patio goes as far south as that current building there, right to the west of us, the Farm Credit Services building.
Yep.
And we would like to put the poles, obviously, right
6
beside
foot.
that, 6 inches out or
Yep.
whatever it is. And then we would like to have either a 1 or 2 foot overhang into that area also.
How big is the pergola?
We're gonna go about 18 to 20 inches, 18 to 20 feet wide, which is about 1/3 of the patio size from, that's rough. And then it's gonna go back to extend of the building. If I remember right, that was 18 feet. I don't think I have those dimensions up there.
Does that have a roof on it, or just the
No, we're just gonna do.
members, framing members?
Exactly right. In the future, we were looking at putting possibly a tarp type structure over there to cover it, but that's down the road. If we would do something like that, which we're 50-50 on that right now.
Any questions?
Now, the 0 line would be all the way out to the sidewalk, an additional 6 feet or whatever that is, or whatever.
The 0. Can I
Your property line is the sidewalk, is that correct?
it's actually between here. There's actually new.
This one?
Oh, that one.
The property line is right here. It's about 5 feet. The property line is actually about 5 feet 9 inches south of the concrete.
Yep, 6 feet.
And then there's still another buffer zone between the property line and the sidewalk itself. I'm guessing approximately 3 to 4 feet.
I think the buffer zone is a good idea.
Well, like I said, we're trying to, obviously we're worried about liability, so we're trying to keep people out. We're trying to make it look nice with the boulders and easy to clean in the spring also.
Anything, Leonard, that you have?
I just got one call from a neighbor, but it was just inquiry of what they were planning. That was it. There wasn't a for or against.
Anyone here to speak for or against?
I am that neighbor.
Okay.
Oh, you are that neighbor, okay.
Yes.
Come on
And
up.
I guess I wasn't quite sure where he was planning on putting it at. I thought it was on the back side, on the north side of the alleyway, but I see, it's up front, it's gonna be on the south side, so I don't see there's gonna be a problem. I thought, gee whiz, if he wants to go into the back, hey, I wanna put a garage in the back. So what makes him go put something in there, but it's in the front, I don't see a problem.
What was your name?
Mark Fair, 1321 First Street.
Okay, thank you.
So, I don't, like I said, if it's in the front, I always have problems with spur.
Understand?
You know, but, not with you, but with your patrons of throwing crap in our garbage in our yard and things like that,
I get it, I
you
get
know,
it.
so.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
Leonard, is this something we can say this project only, or if we set a zero setback, he could come and build to that? Would they extend his building to that?
In your notes, you would state that for this project, for the pergola.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a solid structure built out, then maybe we'd relook at it a little different, but I don't see a problem with this.
Okay. Other comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to deny or grant the request?
I move to approve the variance findings that the requirements of section 3912-011C1 have been met by the applicant for the variance, with the following condition, that it is for this project and not an additional building structural project. I don't know how would you word that, Leonard?
Well, I would state, as they're calling it a pergola, that for the pergola project, that you're approving the pergola
Yep.
project.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Second by Bruce. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Corey?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
Pat?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye.
Thank you.
Very good.
Just two real quick follow-up questions. That overhang, that is in that?
That's still on your property,
Okay.
and I mean.
Very good. And then the pergola is normal pergola, you see like the smaller ones at Walmart, just larger versions, that's how you define a pergola, correct? Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other, is there anything else to brought before the Board of Adjustment? If not, is there a motion to?
Well, I just
Okay,
want to
wait.
talk about the square footage thing. Is there, that was a big lot. Is there something in the makes in the code that maybe as the lots increase from 7,500, that maybe the accessory structures increase in size?
Well,
Is there a formula of?
I guess based on what the board would want, we could put something together and go in front of the planning and zoning. If there's a formula or if there's a square footage that you're seeing that you're okay with approving, then we'd present it to the planning and zoning board. A lot of these were another acquired lot.
Yeah.
And so they doubled the square footage of their lot. Right now, we go to 1,200 for one single lot, so long you don't go over your lot coverage.
Right.
Whether or not if it's a double lot or two lots that were put together, if you want to add another 1,000, 1,200, I guess it's open for discussion. What do you feel comfortable at?
Well, it was a 16,000 square foot lot. Maybe it should have been brought during that discussion, but I thought it was a policy thing, or maybe, but 16,000, obviously it's two lots, and I thought they could put 1,200 on 7,500 acre, or
Yep.
square foot lot. I just thought maybe there would be a formula if.
Yeah, well, during my time here, it's changed, and actually, we used to count the garage on the house even against it. But
Yeah.
at correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it started at almost 2,400, went down to 1,600 or 1,800, and then it went down to 1,200, taking the house garage out of the equation. So there has been movements in the past to try and adjust this.
Yeah.
But if there's something that you feel that you'd want to move forward, definitely adding a number based on lot size definitely would be appropriate.
Yeah, I haven't researched it enough right now to come up with one, but it just seems like that's a lot for,
The same amount that you could
Yeah.
actually do on a small lot.
yeah.
There should be a discussion on
what I can do is I can come up with some numbers and send it out in emails for you guys to take a look at, if that works.
Okay.
That sounds good. Anything else? Thank you, Cory. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I would make a motion that we
Motion by
adjourn.
Pat, second by
Second.
Bruce.
Yep.
We are adjourned. Wait and see if we get, looks like we got some people out there. Out in the entrance. What?
We'd probably be here to wait until 8 o'clock.
Okay. We were gonna have a little 10-minute break. There you go.